Hey everybody, it's Kenya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about an article that I ran across on CNBC.com. I heard about this about a day or two ago. So basically Trump wants to cut back on food stamps for the poor and substitute with packaged food deliveries. Now, I have a lot to say about this. So this was published on Tuesday, February 13th, 2018, and the author is Yelan Mew. So a proposed food delivery program would replace about half of food stamp benefits for households who qualify for the boxes. The plan would put the U.S. government directly in charge of what goes on the dinner plates of more than 16 million low-income households. Critics say that the program would be inefficient and costly and would end up reducing benefits for low-income families and communities. So the Trump administration is proposing replacing a portion of the federal food stamp program with actual boxes of food delivered to recipients' front doors, okay? Putting the U.S. government directly in charge of what goes on the dinner plates of more than 16 million low-income households. White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney likened the model to that of the dominant meal kit delivery service Blue Apron and called it one of the most innovative ideas in the president's budget. So they're about to rip off Blue Apron's, whole idea. So according to a summary of the proposal compiled by the Agriculture Department and obtained by CNBC, the boxes will replace about half of the current program's cash benefits. All food would be grown domestically and include shelf-stable items such as juice, pasta, canned meat, and beans. Canned meat, the USDA estimated it would save $129 billion over a decade, driven in part by the government's unique purchasing power. All right, so they plan on replacing, food stamps with box delivery. So when I think of them saving $129 billion over a decade, I'm not thinking about meals that are going to be healthy for you, meals that are going to be good for you. I'm thinking that you would probably receive the meals that aren't that great for you. I just feel like it's going to be cheap food. And when I think of like boxed foods or boxed lunches, that just takes me back to like elementary school or high school, where we would get like boxed lunch for lunch or breakfast, or just processed chicken patties and just all that cheap stuff in our lunch. So when you think about it, you may think to yourself, well, if you're getting free food from the government, you really can't be choosy. But what about people that have allergies to certain foods, or people that need gluten-free items or lactate-free milk? Like, I just can't get with an idea of canned meats. I mean, tuna fish, maybe salmon, but like canned meat. I'm just trying to figure out like how they are going to actually execute this program. Because if you're shipping things like canned pasta and juice and things, those things are heavy. So you may be, trying to, cut the budget and save money on food, but now you're going to be paying more money towards delivery. When you think about it, you have to pay for delivery. Regardless of what people may think, many people that are on food stamps or SNAP or whatever you want to call it, they actually work. So what about those individuals who are not at home when these deliveries go out? What if you live in an urban neighborhood, the projects, a big building, or you live somewhere like Brownsville, Brooklyn, when you don't want to leave your box on your stoop? Like, what are people like that supposed to do? And they're probably, they're trying to cut back on costs, they're trying to cut back on fraud, but who's to say that that person won't sell the box that they get? I understand that they're probably planning on buying food in bulks, which is going to save them more money, versus giving everybody, a set amount of money every month to go to the grocery store to buy their own food and choose what they want. I mean, the government does sort of, I feel like, police what's certain items that people on food stamps get. Like, you can't buy hot foods, like a hot sandwich. You can't get those steamed crabs with the Old Bay seasoning on it or nothing like that. Like, there's certain things you cannot buy with food stamps. Let's just be real. Now, another thing I want to address, although this may seem like a good idea or a good idea for the government, or great ways for them to save money and cut the budget on food stamps, What about local grocery stores, you know, in our neighborhoods? You know, in my neighborhood, we have ShopRite, that's a popular supermarket. We have Shop and Stop. We have Food Town. What about places that have Winn-Dixie, Publix, Fiesta, you know, all those supermarkets? Like, these supermarkets, they count on, you know, recipients that receive food stamps to come to their stores to buy groceries. So that would be a huge chunk of, you know, money that won't be flowing into our local supermarkets and even our local grocery stores, our local, you know, little bodegas, because you can run down the street and use your, you know, food stamp card and buy rice. You can buy, you know, some eggs, you know, from your local bodega. So that would be money that your local neighborhood would be used to receiving, but won't be receiving if they implement this program. So, you know, if your aunt works at ShopRite or a grocery store, now all of a sudden they may not need as many people because not that many people are coming to the grocery store. You know, truck drivers that deliver, you know, groceries to supermarkets, they're not going to need that many, you know, deliveries. So truck drivers, they may have to, you know, their hours may be cut. Just things like that. I'm just thinking of the bigger picture of how this, you know, new government change could affect, you know, local communities economically. We're not thinking about that. So the mom and pop shop down the street, you know, a huge chunk of their business may be people that receive, you know, food stamps, and now that they're not coming, they can't survive. So I mean, I think it could be a good idea if it's like Blue Apron style, like if you're able to go online and like choose which meals you want for the week. That could work if you're able to, if you're like a vegan or you're Muslim, or you could be Jewish and you may just want kosher foods. Like if you're able to choose exactly what you want, that could be great. If there was a way that they could contract, you know, your local supermarkets where all the things are coming from that supermarket and then somehow shipped to your door, if you get what I'm saying, to keep the economy going. Because, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and laugh. I don't get food stamps, so this doesn't affect me at all. I use my hard-earned coins that I earn every day at work to buy my groceries. But at the same time, when I look at the bigger picture, I'm like, I don't know how good of an idea. It sounds good, but at the end of the day, when I think about the bigger picture and economically how it could affect, you know, our local neighborhoods, it's not that good. And if I own the grocery store, I'd be kind of, you know, a little pissed. If I owned the little bodega down the street and, you know, I'm used to having a certain amount of customers come in with their food stamp cards and pick up certain things, and now I don't have that, I might be a little bit, you know, that may hurt my pockets, especially if I'm a mom and pop shop. So what do you guys think about this you know, new program that the Trump administration is trying to bring to fruition and is trying to, you know, execute? Do you think that it's going to be something good for the economy? Do you think it's something good for, you know, you think it's something good in general? Like, what are your thoughts on it? And make sure that you leave respectful comments. Make sure that they are, you know, of substance. No hate comments about people that are food stamp recipients. I won't tolerate that on my platform. So anyway, thank you for coming to kick it with me. And you guys have a nice day. Come back soon. Toodles.